You're the vice president at Dimensional Fund Advisors in Austin. It's a global investment firm. You've been there for a long time now, man. How was that transition over into the finance world for you?
Well, when you think you're going to play football for a few years, when you end up deciding that that's not going to work out, I kind of hit one of those. Well, what am I supposed to do now? And I'd always focus really hard on my academics throughout my whole life. I talk about my mom being an A's or bust kind of woman in the household. So when I went into school, I double majored in economics and finance. I actually served as a teaching assistant for one of our finance professors while I was in school, so I could get a few extra bucks in my pocket for spending cash. When I made the decision to move on from football, my first call was to David Booth, who was the founder of Dimensional Fund Advisors. He actually went to the University of Kansas, grew up in Lawrence, down the street from Allen Fieldhouse. And he had a relationship with John Hadel, who I referenced earlier. And John kind of always pushed me, hey, whenever you're done, you need to call David. You need to call David. And it just so happened that Dimensional had just moved their headquarters into Austin, Texas, just down the road from where my parents live. So like the stars were kind of aligning to like, hey, this might be the place you need to go. And I did. I had lunch with David and he was like, well, why don't you come in and interview? So I had to build a resume for the first time in my life. So I went home after that. I'm like, all right, what do you put on a resume? And then interviewed with Dimensional, ended up getting the job. Back in 2011, I guess is when I started. And still at that time, I didn't really know a whole lot about what the company did. Obviously, I was learning and doing my research, trying to understand more about the history of the firm. How they view investing, how they view capital markets. But it was basically like going in and getting a crash course, which I think a lot of jobs are that way, right? College gives you the skill set, the education to be able to learn, to adapt, and to focus on new endeavors. But you get a lot of that learning done as soon as you join the company.
Yeah, I went to Arizona State and I was under the impression that everything I learned in journalism school, like that's it. Like that's it. That's all you need to know. And then, you get that first shot, you're like, wait a second. I don't really know a lot about what's happening and I need to really dive in to just figure this out.
It's so true. And that's, whenever we have, new associates that join the team now, and a lot of them will ask, how, what I did to be successful early in my career to progress to where I'm at today. And what I'll tell them is you've got to have an entrepreneurial mindset, right? You got to go in, be willing to ask questions. If you don't know something, speak up and ask. Like people are going to be willing to share their knowledge, share what they know with you. But it's, part of that's going to be on you, right? No one's going to hold your hand anymore. You got to step up to the plate, if you will, and take a proactive mindset. That's how great companies are built, is by everyone taking a proactive entrepreneurial mindset to how can we do things better. We don't always have to do things the same way each and every day, or else we're going to be stagnant. And I think that kind of the spirit and mindset and culture is something I think Dimensional has always had. It's why it's been built up to the global company that it is now, because we had a lot of people, a lot of former athletes as well in my group that approach the business that way.
How have those football lessons, the good and the bad, helped you in the financial world?
Well, again, some of those attributes that we talked about earlier, I think the discipline and the determination. You gotta, when you get into the real world. Again, it's a little bit different than being in school and playing football. It's more cutthroat, right? You got to come to work every single day, every single week, and you have to perform. And a lot of that's going to be based on your personal effort. You got to go above and beyond what you're supposed to do if you really want to excel. So I think having that hard work, that disciplined mindset to be successful, constantly trying to find new ways to learn, to evolve, to grow as an employee are really important. And then I think on the flip side, it's also having a very collaborative, teamwork focused mindset, and that's one of the things that I've always really appreciated about Dimensional, is that it really feels like one team, right? We're all working towards a common goal, which is to impact as many investors as possible and show them a great investment experience that leads to a happier life, to a better retirement, to fulfilling their charitable goals, whatever their dreams might be. And that we've got a lot of people that are willing to help each other, right? It's not, hey, I'm trying to outperform that guy, so I'm not going to help him so I can get a bigger bonus, right? That's not the mindset that we've had. And it just makes coming to work each day that much more enjoyable, right? Because you know that you're working with someone they'll drop whatever they have to do to help you out. Because at the end of the day, it's the results of the team that matter, not one individual.
I love those parallels. It parallels perfectly with football and in your football career. Juice Williams, a former Illini quarterback, was talking about as a financial advisor how the certain tasks that he has each and every day helping clients, he kind of channels football jargon and implements that in his mind and how it just translates perfectly into getting the job done efficiently and quickly. I don't know. It was fascinating from my end, and even though I know it's second nature for you guys.
Well, there is, again, like I said, there's so many parallels, and if you take that kind of mindset, it's funny that you mentioned financial advisors, because those are our clients, right? And there's tons of parallels between being a quarterback and being someone that's trying to be the quarterback of someone's finances, to trying to help someone see the field, if you will, and understand and make the right decisions based on a good set of data, a good set of information. So yeah, I think you can carry those sports parallels to just about any phase of life.
To wrap things up, dude, do you miss football?
I do, yeah. I've actually had a little bit of a kind of a resurgence, if you will, in watching more football the last couple of years. I've kind of gone back and forth between watching more college, watching more NFL. It's kind of varied over the years, but this year with this resurgence that the University of Kansas has had, having quarterbacks that are talented and making plays, having an offense that's scoring points, that really has kind of reignited my passion for college football. So I've been really enjoying watching every Kansas football game. I got back for homecoming this past year and got to get up on stage during a pep rally and amp the crowd up. A lot of fun. So it's been a really enjoyable fall, and a lot of fun watching the Jayhawks come back to life.